Welcome back to the Professor's Lab. I'm Professor V, and this is round 3 of our league tournament that happened at Die Hard Games on October 10th, 2024. If you didn't know, Die Hard League happens every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, featuring casual and tournament play at whatever format everyone wants. Spooky League Challenge, Thursday, October 24th at 6 p.m. Surging Sparks pre-releases start Saturday, October 26th at 1 p.m. and League Cup, Saturday, November 23rd at 11 a.m. All Central Time, all at Die Hard Games. Go see more info in this video's description, and check out Pokemon's event locator for premiere and other events at the shop, such as League Challenges, League Cups, pre-releases, and more. Please hit that like button right quick, subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications, say what you need to say in the comments, and all that other good free stuff. But anyways, let's research this game. Over on the left is Dragapult. Over on the right, Meowscarada. It looks like the Dragapult player has a couple of mulligans to draw here, so we're seeing that happen there as they start the game. Dreepy versus Sprigatito to start things off. Our Sprigatito player is going first this game, and they play Buddy Buddy Poffin in order to search their deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon to add to the bench with 70 HP or less. Since there's already a Sprigatito out, we might see a second Sprigatito and a support Pokemon come down. But our player is going to take this opportunity of the first deck search to do just that. Search the deck and see what's in there and what might be prized. Of course, the Pokemon trading card game starts with the players playing with only 60 minus 6 cards. The rest of them are in their prize cards, as our player finds, actually some resources are in their prize cards, as the player finds double Sprigatito here. Love the shiny Sprigatito artwork there, as well as that League Buddy Buddy Poffin. Next is an Ultra Ball that discards 2 cards in order to search the deck for a Pokemon. That Rotom V is found and put onto the bench. Forest Seal Stone is attached to that Rotom V, giving it the V-Star Power ability, Star Alchemy. Once per turn, they can search their deck for a card. We'll see if they use it here or not. I don't think they will. They're just going to go with the Rotom V's Insta-Charge ability to draw 3 cards and end the turn. Now play will be passed over to our Dragapult player over on the left-hand side, with that Dreepy in the active spot as they draw for turn. There is an Arven in hand, as well as a Dreepy that gets put onto the bench, followed by that Arven. That supporter allows the player to search their deck for a tool and an item. Usually the item this early is that Buddy Buddy Poffin. You guys remember what that one does as they're taking a look through their deck for the tool card. Couple of options so far here with that Forest Seal Stone of their own and the experience share. I imagine this deck plays the Sparkling Crystal as well, but that may be prized to start out this game. Arven grabs that Buddy Buddy Poffin and that Forest Seal Stone finally. Next, the player plays that Buddy Buddy Poffin to search their deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less to add to the bench. Let's see what they find here. A Pidgey for sure, and maybe a Duskull, since there are already 2 Dreepy out. Looks like they are going for the full squad setup with the Duskull and the Pidgey on this Buddy Buddy Poffin. Double Dreepy out, just in case one of them gets knocked out next turn. So maybe I'd like to have 3, but not really necessary. If they don't have it, they don't need to strain to get it. Let's see if there's at least an energy attachment per turn. There is. Fire in hand, that gets attached to the bench Dreepy. Loaded hand for next turn as things are passed over to our Meowscarada player on the right, as they play another Buddy Buddy Poffin League style to search their deck for a Sprigatito and a Pidgey to put onto the bench. All 4 Sprigatito are seen currently, all 4 of them shiny. That Pidgey can be evolved next turn into the Pidgeot EX. And we've got the Force Seal Stone to use for this turn. Well, let's see how this turn continues to develop here for our player. On the right hand side, eyeing up an Iono first to see what we get before using the Force Seal Stone. So Iono has both players shuffle their hands, put them at the bottom of their deck, and then each player draws from the top cards equal to their remaining prize cards. Both players get 6 here. Oh, and I see that pink giant grand tree in hand. But first, the Hisuian Heavy Ball is played to look at the prize cards, and you can switch the Heavy Ball with the basic Pokemon you find there. Radiant Alakazam liberated from the prizes here. And next is the Bug Catching set. That item has you look at the top 7 cards of the deck, and you can put up to 2 of any combination of Grass-type Pokemon and basic Grass Energy into your hand. Meowscarada EX found, as well as a basic Grass Energy. I've seen the Florigato in there, but that's needed for the Grand Tree if they're going to go for it this turn. Double Turbo Energy attached to the active Sprigatito. And it looks like the Force Seal Stone is being used now on the bench Rotom here. That tool gives it the V-Star Power ability, Star Alchemy. Search the deck for a card. The rare candy is found there, allowing that active Sprigatito to evolve straight into Meowscarada EX. Grand Tree is put into play now. That Stadium Ace Spec allows you to search your deck for a Stage 1 Pokemon and evolve it. So there we go, Florigato evolves on the bench, and then you can search for the Stage 2 that it evolves into, the Meowscarada EX. That little cat on the bench just grew up so quickly. They do that, you just blink your eyes one time and they're fully grown into Meowscarada, parading around as the active Meowscarada uses its Bouquet Magic ability. Discard a basic Grass Energy, and then you can put 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. 3 damage counters going onto that Pidgey there. Night Stretcher now brings the Grass Energy back into the hand. And then this bench Meowscarada EX discards it using Bouquet Magic to do 30 more damage to that Pidgey for a mid-turn prize. Looking good so far, as that Meowscarada now uses its Scratching Nails attack for 100 damage to KO the opposing 70 HP Dreepy. Actually 70 damage thanks to the double turbo energy, but still enough to take the KO. 2 prize cards taken that turn. How can our Dragapult player respond here? They definitely need to evolve this Dreepy into Dragapult this turn. Now the Grand Tree can be taken advantage of here by the Dragapult player. Usually the Dragapult decks do play the Stage 1 Dracloak in their deck. So that is good for a Dragapult player. Their players are reading the cards and working it out now. Yeah, both players have access to that stadium. It looks like the Grand Tree is being resolved currently. It could also be used for that Dusknoir too, just depending on what's all in hand. Let's see, Arven is in hand as well as Ultra Ball. So we could definitely see 2 Stage 2s on the Dragapult side this turn as well. I believe we are Grand Treeing here. The bench Duskull evolves into Dusclops, immediately evolving into the Dusknoir, thanks to the Grand Tree Ace Spec Stadium. Psychic Energy attached to the active Dreepy. And I think we've got to see an Ultra Ball Arven. Not before a Nest Ball, in order to search the deck for a basic Pokemon to add to the bench. Let's see what they find. Perhaps a backup Dreepy would be best here, as they seem to agree. Slamming Dreepy down onto the bench off of that nest ball, taking one more sift through the deck to ensure that that's the decision to be made. Next is Arvin. Remember that supporter has the player search for an item and a tool. Item's definitely going to be the rare candy, right? There it is. And the tool is the experience share. Great grabs off of the Arvin. Next choice is going to be what to discard from the hand with the Ultra Ball. I guess you give up on the Pidgeot EX at this point. Ultra Ball being played now, that item has you discard 2 cards in order to search your deck for a Pokemon. Arvin and Pidgeot EX going away there with the Ultra Ball in exchange for a Dragapult EX from the deck. Rare candy in hand means that active Dreepy can evolve directly into the Dragapult EX, and we can start putting damage on the opponent's board. There's also the Dusknoir that can deal some more damage too. Rare candy Dragapult EX now. Debating on using the Dusknoir's ability or not. Not before the experience share gets attached to the bench Dreepy. That tool will help preserve some energy when an active Pokemon is knocked out. Dusknoir has the Curse Blast ability. You may put 13 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. If you use this ability, this Pokemon is knocked out. So KO Dusknoir, do 130 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Technically, it is placing damage counters, which is different than attack damage. Curse Blast appears to be being used now. Let's see where the damage goes. Onto the active. 13 damage counters on the active. But since the Dusknoir was KO'd, a prize card will be taken by the opponent. And now the Dragapult EX can take the KO on the opposing active Pokemon, 200 damage dealt to it, and then 6 damage counters can be placed on the opponent's bench Pokemon in any way they like. So 5 of them, or all 6 of them, go on the Pidgey for a 3 prize turn here. 2 more prize cards need to be taken by the Dragapult player here. We'll see if they get that figured out, as Meowscarada claws its way to the active spot and play resumes over on its side with a double turbo energy getting attached to it. Dragapult player, take your prize cards, as Radiant Alakazam gets benched on the right hand side here with its powerful Painful Spoons ability. Ultra Ball being played now, discarding a couple of cards in order to search the deck for a Pokemon, basic or evolution. If a rare candy's in hand, that Meowscarada could be found. Florigato can be found. It just depends on all the counts of all the cards in deck. Actually going to go for that Lumineon V. Yep, because the hand was pretty dead. So Lumineon V goes to hand. Super Rod is played now to shuffle back into the deck from the discard pile a Meowscarada EX, a basic basic grass energy, and one more resource, a second basic grass. Yep, gets shuffled back into the deck thanks to that League Super Rod here. Next, the Grand Tree is being activated to evolve that bench Sprigatito to its stage 1 form, and then its stage 2 form instantly. Double Meowscarada online. Both of these decks are loving the Grand Tree being in play currently. I don't know why our player's shuffling, as they're probably going to play this Lumineon, activating its Luminous Sign ability to search the deck for a supporter card to add to their hand. Now an Iono's being eyed up, and that can definitely affect or be resolved incorrectly with the opponent not taking their prize cards, but luckily it looks like it'll be Arvin, I guess. Arvin searches his deck for a tool, technical machine, evolution, and an Earthen Vessel item. The Earthen Vessel is played discarding a card to search the deck for up to 2 basic energy, 2 grass, of course, found here. And we're going to see some magic happen. Not quite enough to KO the bench, but enough to put lots of damage on the opponent's board. Bouquet Magic number 1, discard a grass, do 30 damage to the bench Treepy. Bouquet Magic number 2 is being debated on being used here. We're actually just going to go for the Radiant Alakazam's Painful Spoon's ability to move 2 damage counters from the bench Dreepy to the active Dragapult EX. They actually saved that grass energy to get an attachment to the bench Meowscarada, and the active Meowscarada now uses its Scratching Nails attack 100 damage, plus if your opponent's active Pokemon already has any damage on it, it does 120 more damage, so 200 damage thanks to the double turbo energy being dealt to that active Dragapult, setting it up to be knocked out on the following turn. I think they are discovering that the Dragapult player needs to take their prize cards now. Hopefully that's the case. Perfect. And I don't think that affected too much. I'll have to go back and watch and see if they could have played any cards. Was there an Iono played? Ugh. Okay, yeah, I didn't catch it. If so, I was trying to pay attention, but for the sake of the video, I'll just move forward with it. It looks like our players are working things out together. Both players are responsible for board state there. And the point is they are able to repair the game state enough in order to keep playing this game that we love, the Pokemon trading card game. Looks like that happened. We'll just move forward and worry about the technicalities later, I suppose, here. If you ever have any questions or anything like that during a tournament, just feel free to call the judge. I think these players did that too. Just a friendly reminder of that's always a good thing. As our play has resumed over on the left-hand side, Dragapult's side, and they are now using Grand Tree's effect to evolve that bench Dreepy into Dracloak and then into the Stage 2 Dragapult EX. I wonder if our Meowscarada player regrets putting that Grand Tree into play this game, as they see the dragons growing in front of them. Probably not, because the general rule is you don't stunt your own growth in order to stunt your opponents. It's definitely good and aggressive to get it down and evolve first. As the Dragapult player now uses Phantom Dive, Dragapult's attack does 200 to the opposing active, and 6 damage counters are placed onto the bench. Baby Cat KOing it for another prize card for our Dragapult players. Play resumes over on the right-hand side. 1 card in hand, living on a top deck here, has our Meowscarada player run out of steam. Oh, it was a supporter card, that Arvin. I'm sure they would have rather have played an Iono or something close to that, but we'll take playable cards for sure. So Arvin is searching the deck for a item and a tool now. Counter Catcher being eyed up as the item. Maybe a bug catching set as well. Trying to find lots of grass energy for some double bouquet magic action, potentially. No more basics are needed to be found. No more Pokemon, let's say. But actually I'm going to go for that Night Stretcher as the item. No tool cards to grab here. The Night Stretcher allows the player to put a basic energy or Pokemon from the discard pile into the hand. Basic energy will be grabbed and attached to the bench Meowscarada. The active Meowscarada will retreat, since it's heavily damaged, into the fresh bench Meowscarada with the double shiny grass on it. Now Bouquet Magic will be used, Scratching Nails will be used for the full 220 to take the KO on the opposing Dragapult, allowing that player to go down to one prize card remaining. Aha, the experience share is triggered there. Good catch on our players' cards. They know what their cards do. In order to preserve one of the energies from the active Pokemon that was knocked out, experience share attracts it to the Pokemon it's attached to. Dragapult EX floats into the active spot and play resumes over on its side. Is there a psychic energy in order to attack? We'll try to find it with Iono. Both players shuffle their hands, put them at the bottom of their deck, and then draw cards from the top equal to their remaining prize cards. The Dragapult player will get 2 cards from the top here. The Meowscarada player 1. Oh my gosh, the psychic energy was found and attached to the active Dragapult EX. Now let's do some math here. 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 26. Not enough with the Phantom Dive to clean up the KO on the bench, but we're threatening it for sure. 200 to the active with the Phantom Dive, and 6, I imagine, goes on to the heavily damaged Meowscarada on the bench. It's not quite knocked out yet, but next turn it would be, unless this Dragapult is wiped off the board. Let's see what our Meowscarada players got. They can only deal 220 damage currently, bringing that up to 240. The Dragapult up to 240, and it has 320 HP total. Our Meowscarada player does not see a way to do this, so what would happen is they would attack the Dragapult, it would tank the hit, Dragapult would attack, put the remaining damage counters on the bench, Meowscarada for the KO. Let's do the math here. Yep, 320 damage with 6 damage counters going from the Phantom Dive onto the bench Meowscarada. Bench Meowscarada only has 310 HP, so that takes the KO. End of the game and the tournament here. What a way to end it. What'd you think of this video and the commentary? Please leave feedback in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time in the Professor's Lab.